Hi, friends. So today I was going over a process with one of the managers, and I guess I was talking a lot, and it was I felt like we are having a good productive conversation, but in hindsight, thinking about it, I felt that maybe uh I was talking more than a manager would be used to from a subordinate, and that kind of got me thinking about what it must be like to be on the other side. Because you have these managers who have uh, worked their way up to their position through lots and lots of experience and being at the company for a long time, building those important relationships both internally and externally, and also through respecting the culture and hierarchy that's in place. So, I guess as a manager of the company, if I had worked the way they have thus far, I would have some expectations of how people act uh, within the business setting and how both people above me and below me would treat me. I would have a certain level of expectations, and also, I guess I would act appropriately too. And in general, I guess, as a senior who has more experience than the subordinate, uh, it's more uncommon for, I guess, subordinates to speak up. And so, I guess in a situation where they would be handling a person like me, it would be really, really confusing because I'm not meeting the expectations in the sense of the culture, and also in the sense of that uh, most younger employees would probably not even try to speak up to the extent that I do on average. Not saying that there aren't any, there might be, but at least from what I've seen, I guess I'm abnormal in that sense. But not only that, if I was dealing with me, I'm dealing with a person who's going to own the company one day, who is weirdly in power and yet not. Okay, they're not in power, but they're in a position to become a person in power faster than myself. And so, should I be expecting, how should I be treating them? And what kind of response should I be expecting? And how will this whole situation affect me? I guess it would be really, really confusing for them, because it's a really weird power dynamic. And I guess if you're in the outside, or in another company, it might not matter that much. It's like he's just another person. Yes, he may become an owner in the future, but that does not give him the right or the privilege or anything to do anything other than be a subordinate employee, a regular employee. But because this company is very sensitive to the hierarchy and power and, I guess, politics to some extent, uh, people are probably more sensitive or over thinking about how to deal with me to some extent. So, in that sense, being one of the managers managing me, it would be really confusing and tricky and, I don't know, frustrating, stressful. Yeah, I mean, not just this whole dynamic of what I represent, but just my personality too is, I guess you could say, controversial or just very abnormal and not the norm to what has always been at the company. So that makes it extra tricky to deal with, because yeah, I'm very straightforward and open, but that's not very typical in Japanese culture, I think. You slowly build a relationship over time and you always maintain a wall. Everyone does. And um, sure, you may lower it to some extent if you get to know someone over a long time or if you know them outside of work, but especially at work, it's extra thick, extra high, I think. And so here I am just like not really putting up a wall in the first place, but also just smashing everyone else's sometimes. Uh, that's you wouldn't know how to deal with that. So I guess I'm very grateful for my manager. I think that's a conclusion. I was just thinking about what they must be feeling, what they must be thinking or going through, how stressful it must be having their bosses instructing them on how to instruct me. Um, yeah, I'm really grateful and I'm yeah, again, very privileged to have people who are willing to deal with me. And yeah, I can't imagine what it must be like, but it must be to some extent also kind of exhausting but hilarious. Just confusing and chaotic, but amusing and entertaining. uh, which I guess I don't mind, and I'd be glad if I could be an entertainment for them. Um, as long as I'm an entertainment, sometimes I think I'm a stress, but I guess I can work on being more entertaining and positive and energizing for them. And that's how I could give back to them. Um, yeah, just random thoughts. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you guys up again another time. Bye.